தெரியுதுங்களா? இப்போ வீடியோ தெரியுது. இப்போ ஜூம். ஓகே. நான் இப்போ உங்களுக்கு சரிங்கம்மா. ஓகே ஓகே. நீங்கள் ஒரு 10:30க்கு ஒரு 10:25 கொஞ்சம் ரெடியாக இருங்க மேம். மறுபடியும் பண்ணணும். ஏன்னா 9:50 திரும்பவும் ஜூம் கட் ஆகும்ல. ஆமாம் ஆமாம். அதான் ஒரு 10:25க்கு உங்களுக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணிடுறேன். ஓகே ஓகே. மேம் ரத்னா மேம், யூடியூப் லிங்க் அனுப்பிச்சி விட்றீங்களா? டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டில் அனுப்பிச்சிட்றீங்களா? ஓகே. சார் பேசுறதுக்கு சொல்லு தம்பி, நேரம் கிடையாது. பசங்களை வந்தாயிடுச்சுன்னு சார் சொல்லுங்க. 27 பேர் தான் இருக்கான். அவங்க அந்த கதையை விடுங்க. 27 பேர் தான் இருக்கான். முதல்ல அவங்கள பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் உள்ள வர பண்ணுங்க. சார் எல்லாம் ரெடி சார். யூடியூபர்லாம் லிங்க் பண்ணியாச்சு. அப்படியா? என்ன பண்ணலாம்? ஆரம்பிச்சுக்கலாமா? என்னங்க சார்? ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாமா? சரி ஓகே சார். இல்லை கஷ்டமாக வர மாட்டார்ல சார் நடுவில் ஏதாவது. சார் இப்போ ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டாங்களா? சரி ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார், நீங்களும் போய் ஜாயின் பண்ணிங்க சார். டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டில் லிங்க் அனுப்பியிருக்கோம் பாருங்க சார். இல்லை நீங்கள் எதாவது அதை பற்றி சொல்கிறீங்களா? நான் டீன் பதில் உங்கள் பேர் இது பண்ணிட்டாங்க. சரி ஓகே. சங்கர் சார்.
எஸ் சார்.
சார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாமா சார்?
எஸ் சார்.
Okay, sir. Okay. Just wait, sir. Waiting for a dean, but he has some meeting with chairman, I think so.
Okay,
so
sir.
he's not coming, I think so. We can start, sir. Okay.
Sir, I am sharing my screen. Once you're able to see that, let me know, and then I'll proceed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure. Yes, sir. It's okay, sir. Just wait, sir.
Okay.
Very good morning to one and all here. With most pleasure, I extend our gratitude on behalf of Department of Information Technology, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram. And I welcome you, especially the management, chairman, co-chairman, the director, and the deputy director, dean, engineering and technology, VP admin, VP academics, HOD of information and technology, and other HODs, and my dear colleagues and participants. Sir, just wait, sir. Hello.
Sure, sir.
Sir, welcome speech சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கேன் sir. So, I thank to our chief guest, Mr. Shankar Soundararajan, Project Manager, Trillasoft Limited, Hyderabad, for accepting to give a webinar on IT infrastructure operations and services. And thank you, sir. And today's okay, sir. You can start, sir. Shankar, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank
Yes,
you. Thanks, sir. Thank you very much for the introduction. And it is my pleasure to be here. And that too for this particular session. I just thought before we start on to this topic, I was discussing with you on the particular topic that will definitely help students in terms of academics. So I just gone through few of the syllabus, and I thought this is a appropriate topic for them. This might be a basic version. I know, a few of our guys are already well versed in this subject, but just thought to have a basic understanding on the infrastructure, operations, and services. And good morning, students, and thanks everyone who joined on time and who joined, before 10 a.m. And thank you very much. And good morning for those who are still on bed and those who haven't woke up yet. Just having your mobile putting beside, and then hearing the conversation. Good morning to everyone. So my topic, I don't have many PPTs like 10, 20 slides or more than that to bore you here. This is all about infrastructure, operations, and services. So quickly, I'll move on to the the agenda over here. So about my profile and the syllabus, what I told is I picked it from one of your the website, and I saw this might be a proper one. And about infra management services and IT service management, and a small typical environment, how we set up infra. And topologies, of course, you guys have heard it a lot of times. And cloud models, and Mac, what is Mac, what is IP address, and the life cycle of the incident flow, and KPIs, which we call it as key performance indicator for our incident management and other things. So without any delay, I will quickly move on to the profile. So I did my, and also to be very happy to say that I'm one of a part-time student in SRM, and very specifically at Ramapuram. I did my part-time engineering in Ramapuram SRM, so I'm very happy about it. And I completed my master's in Anna University. So I started in 2002 with various experience. I would say close to 15 plus years of experience, and couple of certifications like Azure, Microsoft, Cisco, Citrix, and projects where you can see that the data center implementation, a Citrix specialist, and migration and application packaging and Windows 10 support. So over here, with all these experience, I would say I have a clear understanding on what is infrastructure is about, what we call infrastructure is. So that is about my profile. So I'll just quickly skip on to this, and then we'll move on to the important topic. So I was pointing out to the syllabus right here. Probably this is not the updated one, or might be this is the updated whatever is. But I saw this topic, and I was very happy about this because the purpose which is defined here, it is very clearly talks about on the infrastructure management, and how we dealt all the the storage part, or IT audit, or service delivery, service management, or KPIs, or whatever. I really felt this subject is important piece for guys who are in CSE background or IT background, information background, I would say. So I have gone through the entire syllabus, and also with this, I know there are various papers for you, like computer networks. Probably you guys have it, computer networks, or I would say the programming, or the other side, different mathematics and other things. But what I felt here is the practical sessions which we are not focusing on. That's what I would say from the student perspective. So though we are paying attention on the theoretical part, but the infrastructure management talks more about the practical sessions. So that is what I'm going to discuss for upcoming minutes or hours, I would say. One thing I would request here is any questions or anything that you feel like I want to add more on it, or if you want to have an interaction session, please feel free to do that, because that is how we learn each other. Probably your understanding would be different here, or I might be wrong, but we can help each other over here. And one more thing I would request here is pay some attention on it, because I'm not a theoretical person. I'm a practical person who talks a lot about practical stuff. So for that, I would not say that theory is not at all important. You will see all the theory also over here. But my sincere advice is just pay attention for upcoming minutes, so that definitely this is going to help you. As I started earlier, you guys already well versed in the subject. So few of or very good in terms of networking, or few maybe very good in virtualization, programming, development. But over here, this is very, very basic or foundation, I would say, very fundamental things. I'm not going to talk very deep on infrastructure. This is a very, very fundamental that is definitely going to help you throughout your career, I would say. So pay some attention and make in kind of interactive if possible. I mean, if there is a question, please do raise it immediately, so that we can talk, we can a little bit dive on that in a deeper thoughts, to let you know that what is happening on that particular process. It might be anything. So that is what, on the syllabus side, I saw plenty of things that I felt like what is happening on the infrastructure management and what are the key things over there. So now, let me start with this infrastructure management. So we always use this term infrastructure, not in IT. I would say in terms of colleges admissions, we often use this term infrastructure. So even while we purchase a house, we used to see this infrastructure. What does this infrastructure here about? So let's take a quick example of college. Before our admission, we used to search for colleges, and we see, okay, they have very good infrastructure. What does this infrastructure talks about? Is that about the air conditioned classroom, or is that about the air conditioned bus, or is it lab facility, or the faculties, or the practical sessions, or the career growth, or they have the additional languages, or about the placement? So everything, right, all these comes as the infrastructure. I mean, that is how even canteen plays a major role. Food is important piece, hostel is important thing. So all these things comes into picture while we talk about infrastructure. Similarly, when we talk about IT infra, for example, while we talk about a typical IT company or a startup or whatever, so the IT infra plays a major role for the support based or operation based. I would say I would go for easy understanding of Ola, Uber, or Swiggy, or Zomato, or whatever, because most of the stuff is happening on the app. So when we say app, it is not only the app which talks. So if you look at a little bit of backend, there are servers, right? They say that the servers are busy. We are not able to open this website. We are not able to, place an order. So your order is delay. We are experiencing I inflow. So we are not able to get the support executives currently. So how all these happenings? It will happen definitely with the infrastructure, right? So without infrastructure, nothing is going to work out here. So, uh, as I said, on the IT side, IT infrastructure management, if you look at here, end user management, server management, network, storage, database, application, automation, help desk, all these things, you would have definitely heard about it. For server, of course, when we say server, your imagination will be it is a big machine, or it is stored in a AC room. That is what your understanding is about server. I know maybe you would have read about client structure, client and server architecture. So how the what is server, where is the data moved, this and that. But when you talk about infra, it is totally different thing. If I say in your campus, definitely you have a IT room where we have a system admin, where we have IT guys who used to support us around the clock for system issues, keyboard issues, hardware, software, or whatever. So when you are going to conduct a symposium, or there is a webinar session or whatever, we used to give these files to IT department, where they used to upload it on the website. So it is cascaded to the wider audience, where they see the information about this seminar. And if you want to register it, we have to register. How these things are happening? It all because of the infrastructure which is with us. So data center, we have a proper data center, we have an application server, we have all these servers aligned with us, and with this we are moving towards a direction where we are placing all these things. So similarly, this infrastructure management is also, when you look at the names, or name might be storage, it looks like data center management or configuration management. Maybe the name is little bit not familiar to you, but storage management is all about a backup. So if you have a student's information and those who have already passed out, they are not going to use it again. I mean, the folders or the files which they have, it is not going to be used in upcoming years. So it might be backed up somewhere. For example, faculty details, all these comes into the storage management. Database, again, student name, student age, when he paid the amount, these this all these comes into the database management. Application, as I said, it will be a different link for faculty, it might be different link for students. So I'm taking a typical environment of education institution so that it is easy for you to understanding, but in real time IT, it is totally a different wing, I would say. So application management is a huge ocean. So maybe companies have 2000 plus application where it is managed with the server and other updates, rollouts, patches, this and that. So automation, again, it is a very big thing which we can discuss for the entire day on the automation piece, because nowadays everything is automated. We have chatbot. I'll take again the same example of Swiggy. When you say that this food is not good, or you want to return it, so probably you will place a support, right? And if you see automatic chatbot is popping up, so that is automation piece for your understanding. But in real IT environment, for server commissioning, we had 16 plus engineers working for server commissioning. But what happened was, after the automation, every piece of information is automated, the script was in place, and then it moved to the automation side, and now we have only 8 it counts out of 16. So 50% of head count is reduced because of this automation. Again, what is this automation? We have development side, we have so many tools involved there for making the script running in the backend. So that is automation. Again, help desk is something similar, where we call, pick up the phone or email, or on the chat we used to ask them help, and then the incident is created or ticket is created. And configuration management is kind of updating, or I would say any changes that is done on the IT environment. Data center, of course, I said it is a mix of servers, hardware, patches, switches, routers, everything. And of course, quality side, when we talk about quality side, the documentation piece and other things plays a major role. And end user management, finally we are the end user, right? When we reach out to any of the help desk, we are the end users. So this is all about infra management service. I would want to talk a lot on subsequent slides. So over here I have service management. So if you look at the event management or this knowledge management, sorry, yeah, if you look at the event management, any event that is triggered, it is called event management. Knowledge management, so if you have a repeated issues, we have a knowledge management where it will be resolved in the first closure itself. I mean, first incident resolution they call it as. Service request, we need any kind of service. Asset lifecycle manager, like you have IT laptop, you have using the pen drive, so and so all the asset comes into. Self services, if you want to reset our own password, similarly, which we do for net banking, in the banking sector, we used to provide the debit card pin number, and then we get it. Policy and compliance, of course, we have to be compliance in terms of all the asset management or the patches or the antivirus, because of the secured environment. Again, the service management, reporting dashboard, process manager, incident and problem, service catalog, all this comes into the service management. But what is important here is incident and problem. Now, if you get into the incident and problem, it is a wider area where I can say you what is incident and what is problem. In a typical IT environment, I'll talk about incident and problem. I'll quickly, I don't want to take much time over here, because later I'll get into the complete IT environment. So incident, when user is having he's facing an issue with his laptop, when he's trying to open a Word document and it is crashing. So what he did is he raised an incident. He said, hi, and now again incident was reopened, and the engineer called back the user, and user said, you have resolved it, but still it looks like I'm facing the same issue again and again. So what is happening here? And finally what happened was, her colleague or his colleague, plenty of users are affected now for this Word document, maybe more than 10 or 20 or 50, whatever is. So what will happen here? Will the engineer able to resolve for each and individuals? No, because there is something wrong in the environmental side, not on the user machine. For that, what they will do is they will not create the incident for individual users like 500 users. They will not create 500 tickets. They will instead they will create a problem ticket. They will try to do some root cause for that solution. So that is a problem. So basically incident is something, event which is triggered, but problem management is totally different. How to identify a solution for that and how to have a permanent fix for that, and in identifying a root cause for that. So why this Word is crashing? Was there any update rolled out by Microsoft? Was there any patches, or what was done on the infrastructure side? And that is where the infrastructure plays a major role. When multiple users are affected, then there is a problem ticket. And the problem ticket, we have change management, we have configuration management, we have several teams involved over here, and they used to identify in a collaboration model, in an agile model, and they used to find a root cause for that. And finally they will identify that, okay, last week, till last week this was working fine, but sudden of all it went wrong. What happened here? Okay, so the problem is because of so and so Microsoft patch. So do we have to identify any fix for this, or Microsoft have released any updated patch for this? That is important. And immediately they will raise voice in MS forum, and then they will get some update. Finally there will be rollback will happen, or any update patch might be rolled out for global users, and the issue will resolve. Only then this problem will be identified as resolved and then closed. So this is a typical incident and problem management, and there are several things over here. I mean, when the change is raised, a change manager will be there. The configuration management, there are a few people they have to, a few people they have to approve it, and only then it is done and dusted. So that is how the typical incident and problem management works. I'll now move on to the next one, where I was talking about a small infrastructure. So let's talk about infrastructure, a practical infrastructure at our home. If I put a question to any of you, if I ask what is a router, what is switch, or example, if I'm asking, we also had this case recently, and we always happen to ask these questions, and the answer is same till now. I mean, with past 10-15 years of experience, I'm seeing the same pattern of answer. So if I ask someone what is VPN, the answer is a virtual private network. Did I ask what is abbreviation for VPN? No. I asked what is VPN? What is your understanding on VPN? So the answer might be, it is similar to the abbreviation. It is not, a proper answer for VPN. So that is what happening. But don't be in, don't give abbreviation for the questions. Try to understand the question. If I asked what is router, you should know what is router. If you don't have understanding on router, and if you don't have understanding what is a switch is, if you don't have understanding what is access point is, then there is no point of answering to the question. We all have ADSL router, or we call it as access point, or a broadband router. Did you ever think that why it is called broadband router, why it is not called as a switch? No, we don't think that, we don't pay attention. And in fact, for our own to fix this, out of 100, I would say definitely 10 or 15, they might Google, or they might do some YouTube videos, and they used to fix it. But rest, call to the guys who are in the support for this particular act, fiber or whatever, call them, and they will resolve. They will visit our home, and they will resolve it. But there is no point of calling them when you have all these understanding on what the router is, what the switch is, what is the Wi-Fi is. You should have an understanding on this. But I'm pretty much sure that we don't have understanding on basic. That's what I have mentioned very clearly. Try to learn theoretical way what is a router is, what is the broadband is about, how we are getting internet, what is happening in the service provider side, how we are getting connected with our ADSL side, and what is happening when we talk about Wi-Fi security. We have plenty of things like WPA, WPK, WPSK. What is all these things? No, we never know. But you have already read that in your computer networks, or probably you are going to learn it. What is that? No, we don't have answer for it. There is encryption standard, there is decryption standard, and there are various things over there. But are we trying to understand theoretically? No. But at least when you do it practically, when you set a Wi-Fi password with your router, try to understand why I have these many things. Can I hide my network, Wi-Fi network, so that nobody, my neighbors, know that this is the name for so and so, right? Can I hide it? Can I do some troubleshooting on the Wi-Fi? Let it go, reset it, and at least call the support person, let him trying it. No, but don't do it right away. Okay, the session will get disconnected. No, I'm just giving an example. Are we doing it? No. Are we trying to understand how this is going to work? No, we don't. So here is a small example, but here is a small example of infrastructure. Let's take an example of our home network. Okay, you have a desktop provided with the internet. Let's talk about a few years back, a BSNL broadband, and you connected internet to the desktop, and you're good to go with your desktop, and the internet is working fine, you don't have issue. And luckily what happened is, after few months or few years, you purchased a laptop. Now this laptop, again, you don't have LAN enabled. This is completely Wi-Fi. So how are you going to connect with the existing broadband router you have, and that is not the Wi-Fi one? What are you going to do? We have to get a cable, we have to connect the cable in the router, and we are going to use this for our laptop. But I said there is no LAN cable at all, LAN port for the Wi-Fi, sorry, for the laptop. What we are going to do here, and this laptop is provided only with the Wi-Fi access and no LAN. What we will do, we have to upgrade our router. No other option for us. Can we do it? And why we are going to upgrade it? So that if we are upgrading this particular model, we can connect a mobile, we can connect 2 3 laptops, right? So we are going to upgrade now. And what is going to happen for the desktop? We have to have a ADSL router, which is going to use for Wi-Fi and also for LAN purpose. Now it is done. You upgraded and you did. Now your laptop is connected, your desktop is also connected. What if you have a printer and the printer is also a Wi-Fi? Can we use it? Yes, of course we can use it with laptop. We can use it with desktop, connecting a USB cable. Why we don't have this understanding? Why we are not doing some setup of little understanding on infra at our home, though we have 2 3 laptops? For transferring a file from one laptop to another, do we need any kind of cable? Of course no, because both the laptops are with Wi-Fi. For a movie download, we are trying plenty of things in Google Play. Use share it, use this, use that. All these app, how it is working? It is just going to build a hotspot on your mobile, and it is going to try to create a hotspot, and it is going to connect two mobiles in the same network, and the file transfer happen. For this you should have an understanding what is ad hoc network. And I'm 100% sure you guys would have read this in the past, at least in the upcoming topics probably. Do we have an practical understanding of that? No. When we will have it, once you do it, definitely you will have that understanding on the ad hoc network. And that is very simple. You have two laptops or two desktop, connect each other with the LAN cable, cross cabling, and then transfer file from here to there. You don't need any router, you don't need any switch at all. And if you have two laptops, transfer with the Wi-Fi, create an ad hoc network, and make this as a server or this as a client, or have both the laptops in the same network, and then move the file from here to there. Or if you have, how are we doing it in a mobile? We are having an app, and then we are just transferring using share it, share me, or whatever the applications are. So how it is working? Try to understand that it is not because of only the app. It is the app that makes our Wi-Fi connecting in the same network or creating a hotspot, and that is how both the files are getting transferred from one to another. Sorry guys, just a small thing. Sir, I see time remaining is 3 minutes. Should I continue, or do
Yeah,
we have to?
sir, you can continue, sir. After the line will be cutting, after you can rejoin, sir. I will inform to students also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is how the file transfer is happening from one place to another. Why are we not doing this? Why are we not planning this, or why are we not doing this at our home? Why are we not trying to understand what is happening here? Because yeah, because we are not paying attention on what is happening on the practical side. We are just learning, we are keep learning, but we are not implementing it anywhere at all. We are not going to understand on the basic level. What That is what I'm saying. Why we don't have an understanding on what is router and what is switch. There we are failing. And before that, prior to that, we had hub, and nowadays you don't even know what is hub. We had hub with 8 port, we had hub with 16 port, and later we had the switch, and later router. So for that, when we talk about broadband, try to understand how the IP is converted from public to private. Now IP comes into the place. If I ask what is IP, you would say that class A, B, C, D, E, or whatever. And if I ask why we have these many classes, there is no answer. If I ask what is subnet, you will say, yeah, this is the subnet. But do we have any understanding on subnet? Of course, few may yes and few may no. So that is what we are failing in understanding how it is implemented in a practical way. If you look at here, let's say this is our BSNL internet, or ISP, we call it them, and we are connected to router. And basically this is a firewall. If you look at the picture, it is a kind of brick, right? This is a firewall, and from firewall we used to connect the switch. So now what is firewall? When you look at the firewall, you have an understanding. It might be related to security, but we never bother to learn what is firewall is about. I'm sorry guys, someone who is interested in networking, someone who want to learn networking, definitely they will understand what router is, what switch is, what access point is I'm talking about. So over here we have firewall, and then followed by a switch. And with switch we have workstations, Mac or server or whatever we have created it. This is a very very simple understanding on infrastructure. Let's say whatever I discussed few minutes back, like connecting desktop, connecting your laptop, connecting your mobiles, that is also infrastructure, right? So how are we going to implement this, and what all the understanding we should have before we implement this? That we are going to discuss in upcoming slides, I would say. So should I wait, or should I disconnect now?
Sir, it will be disconnect, sir. I think it is 1 minute, I think so.
Okay,
Uh,
shall I disconnect
yeah,
and
yeah,
join,
yeah.
sir?
You can disconnect and you can rejoin that same link, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Then see you back again.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yes, sir. Yes. My students, you can rejoin the same link, using join the session using same link. Okay. சார் சார் ஒன்றும் இல்லை. இப்போ நம்ம அது ஒரு 40 மினிட்ஸில் முடிச்சிடலாம்ல, இல்லை நிறைய இருக்குங்களா? அப்படியா? சரி, சரி. எனக்கு கேட்குறேன். அதுக்கேத்த மாரி திரும்ப வேணா இன்னொரு டைம் ஜாயின் பண்ண சொல்லணும்ல அவங்கள. அதனால திரும்பவும் 40 மினிட்ஸு சார். அகைன் இன்னொரு ஆமா சார். நான் 9:50க்கே, ஏன்னா கூகுள் சேனல்ல வந்து யூடியூப்ல லிங்க் பண்ணணுன்றதுக்காக நான் 9:50க்கே ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டேன். ஆ ஓகே. ஓகே சார், ஓகே சார். ம். நீங்க அதே நீங்க அதே லிங்க்ல ஜாயின் பண்ணுங்க. அவங்க செஷன் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா, அது உள்ள உங்கள எடுத்துக்கிறேன் நான். ஓகே சார், ஓகே. மேம் கொஞ்சம் ஆரம்பிச்சு விடுங்க மேம். ஆ, ஓ ஓ அது இன்னும் முடியலையோ? அப்படியா? ஓ, இருங்க. ஆமா ஆமா ஆமா. சரி விடுங்க. இல்ல 33% தான் இதாயிருக்கு. பஃபர் ஆயின்னு இருக்கு. ஒரே நிமிஷம். சரி நான் அவர்கிட்ட சொல்லிடுறேன் இருங்க. ஆ ஓகே மேம், ஓகே மேம். சார் சார் ஒரு 2 மினிட்ஸ் சார். அது அந்த மீட்டிங் ரெக்கார்டிங் கன்வெர்ட் ஆன அப்புறம் தான் திரும்பவும் இது நம்ம ஸ்டார்ட்ன்ற பட்டனே எனேபிள் ஆகும் போல. இப்பதான் நான் ஃபோன் பண்றேன் சார். ஓகே ஓகே. வருவாங்க சார், வருவாங்க சார். எங்க சார்? இல்ல ஒன்றும் இல்லை. லாஸ்ட் டைம்ல ரொம்ப டென்ஷன் பண்ணிட்டாங்க சார். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மீட்டிங் பண்ணாங்க. வெல்கம் ஸ்பீச் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன். திரும்ப எப்படி ஃபோன் பண்றேன்? அதுக்கு தான் அது 1 மினிட் அப்படின்னா அதை கூட ஒழுங்கா அவங்க ப்ரொஃபைல் கூட சொல்ல முடியல. வெறுப்பேற்றி விட்டாங்க. இல்ல அப்படி இல்லை சார். நம்ம இல்ல நல்லா இருக்கு சார். இது இவங்களுக்கு என்னன்னா இப்போ இது நெட்ஒர்க்ன்றதுனால அவங்க எப்படி ஃபீல் பண்றாங்கன்னு தெரியல. ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு ஃபுல்லா அந்த கேம் தியரி அது இதுன்னு வேற மாதிரி வந்துட்டாங்கல்ல, செக்யூரிட்டி அது இதுன்னு. ஆனா பேஸ் இதுதான்ன்றது புரிஞ்சுக்குவாங்க. அதுலயும் கொஞ்சம் கிளவர் பசங்க இருப்பானுங்க. பேஸ் இதுதான் நெட்ஒர்க்ன்றது அவங்களுக்கு இன்னும் தெரியும். சரி ஓகே சார். நான் ஒரு 5 மினிட்ஸ்க்குள்ள நான் உங்களுக்கு பண்றேன். மேம் அது மீட்டிங் இருங்க. அதுதான் மேம். அதுக்கு நான் என்ன பண்றது? அது மீட்டிங் கன்வெர்ட் ஆகி முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் திரும்ப ஸ்டார்ட் பட்டனே எனேபிள் ஆகும். மேம் முடிஞ்சிச்சு பாருங்க மேம். ஆ ஆ ஓகே, ஓகே. இல்ல அது கன்வெர்ட் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. ஆ ஓகே. முடிஞ்சிச்சு. பாருங்க இப்போ ஸ்டார்ட் கொடுங்க. ஆ. நானுமே உள்ள போயிட்டேன். இதுக்கு உள்ள போகலையே. வெயிட் பார்த்தேன். இருங்க ஒரு நிமிஷம். இல்லை மேம், எனக்கு ஹோஸ்ட் இஸ் அனதர் மீட்டிங் இன் ப்ராசஸ் வந்து. இதை நீங்கள் மாற்றி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறீங்க போல. ஓகே, ஓகே. நீங்கள் சேம் இதுலேயே போங்க. என்னடா அது வேற. போயிட்டு சரி விடுங்க, நீங்கள் வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் போயிட்டு கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க. போங்க, ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க. ஓ ஓ ஆ சரி சரி சரி. கிளிக் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? இருங்க ஒரு நிமிஷம். இருங்க இருங்க. பரவாயில்ல விடுங்க. எனக்கு ஒன்றும் இல்லை மேம், இந்த பசங்களை திரும்பவும் கூட்டம் சேர்க்கணுமே. இருங்க இருங்க. உள்ள எடுங்க. போஸ்ட் உள்ள எடுங்க. இருங்க, அவருக்கு சிமெண்ட் பண்ணிடுறோம். ஒரு நிமிஷம். நிஷாந்த் நிஷாந்த் நிஷாந்த்
Sir, this is Shankar here. I
Yeah,
joined back.
sir, just please be wait, sir. 2 minutes, sir. We will start.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
No problem.
Kirba sir,
Yes, ma'am.
I make you as host, sir. You can make him as a co-host.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Let's start recording. Okay.
Yeah. வருதுங்களா? இதோ ஒரு நிமிஷம். ஐயோ, இருங்க நான் ஒரு கோஸ்ட் ஆக்கிடுறேன்.
ஃப்ரீயாவே எல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்றாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் half an hour கழிச்சு கட் ஆயிடுச்சு.
தெரியலீங்களே மேம் என்னன்ட்டு.
டைம் ஆகும்.
half an hour ஆகும். முடிச்சிடுறேன்டாரு 20 minutes. அப்படியா? 20 minutesல முடிச்சிடுறேன்டாரு. இவர் எங்க இருக்காருன்னே தெரியலையே. சங்கர் சவுந்தரராஜன்.
ఎంత అందంగా ఆడతారు బిడ్డ. కోసి అప్ప కోసిరంట.
அஜிஜோ. ஓகே.
அம்மா 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 அம்மா. பத்தில வருமால. ஹலோ.
Sir, let me know once we are good to go, sir.
You can share your screen and I can start your session, sir.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Okay. So thanks, guys. Thanks for coming back. And we know all this technical glitch here and there. And looking at the timestamp, I believe, and the restriction in the Zoom, probably there is something wrong with the limitations of the audience and also the time frame. Okay, let me start again.
நிஷாந்த்,
Let me
கொஞ்சம்
know
பசங்களை வர சொல்ற. ஒரு
sir,
50
let me
தான்
know once
இருக்காங்க
you're
போல.
able to see the screen, sir.
சரிடா. எங்கடா இங்க யூடியூப் லிங்க் பண்ணிட்டு இது மொத்தமா கட் ஆயிடுச்சு இல்ல, அதனாலதான். ஓகேமா.
Anyone guys, can you see my screen? Yes, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can
Yes, sir.
continue.
The
Okay.
screen is visible, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I was discussing on the others. I would request to please go on mute. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we were discussing on this, right? So the router, firewall. So now my question is, what is our understanding on this infrastructure setup in our house or in a small office? So for this, when I talk about infrastructure setup, first thing you should have an understanding on uh, the map, or I would say a topology that plays a major role, like how many machines we need. Let's take an example of a browsing center. Nowadays we don't visit browsing center because of this 4G 5G or whatever we have it with us. So what we have in terms of the network understanding, what should we know on the infrastructure is, what is IP address? How are we going to give IP address? What is subnet mask? What is this access point? Do we have a LAN cable? Do we have WAN cable? How should I set up this browsing center environment? For example, the client is, he's requesting you as an IT engineer or IT administrator. He's asking you that, you mean I need a setup with 10 desktops for browsing center purpose. Now, what is your understanding on that? How you're going to rate, or how you're going to code for this particular infrastructure setup? First thing, you should have an understanding on the hardware side. What are the desktop is, what is the purpose of the desktop here is, and how many machines he is requesting for. How what is the bandwidth required here? How many routers should be purchased? What is the ISP required here? What is the bandwidth that is going to support us? Where are we going to place this 10 machines? Where we are going to place the router, switch? Everything comes into the infrastructure, and all these role is played by IT administrator. We call it as our system engineer or hardware technician, network engineer. All these are IT setup. Now, going back to the same browsing center concept. So now that you have 10 machines, how are you going to set up a typical IT infra over here? And he's saying that I also need a printer. For this, how you're going, you should have an understanding what is domain, what is work group, and all these things you should have an understanding, and that is how you are going to proceed further. Sorry to stop here, guys. Sir, one quick question: can we continue this till 11:10 or 11:15 if you don't mind, or do we have any other session followed
No,
up
no, no,
by
sir. You
this?
can continue, sir.
Okay, sir, thanks. And guys, I'm not going to take much time. I'll quickly move on to the infra one which we are discussing here, the topology. Sir, I know this topology. I know bus, ring, star, mesh, tree, everything. I know. I'm learning this from my LKG or childhood or whatever. We know about this thing very well. But where we are going to implement this, we don't know, sir. Sorry. And what is the advantages and disadvantages? Yes, I have read, sir, but I don't have an understanding now. But this is the majority of the role which plays in the IT structure, I would say. For example, when I talk about this bus topology, look at here. What happens here is, when this particular system is off, if there is a network or something shared over here, the four mission is not going to use the information that is being cascaded from the mission one. When I talk about ring, and when this is closed and the communication will end over here, and star, we don't have any issues at all. The star is the topology which is played majority of the companies are using till now, because when you look at here, we have a printer, and the printer is connected directly to the switch or a router, whatever. And now, even if this machine is off, the rest of the machine still can access this printer, right? So that is what this star topology is. And if I say you guys are aware of this, yes, we are pretty much aware of the topology, but we don't know where this is implemented. If you look at your lab, we are sitting in a way that L shape or V shape, or in a row, column, or whatever. But while they implement this, first thing comes into the picture, how much cable is required over here. So what is the length of the cable we are going to place, which is the center point for this, and where we are going to place the router. Is this are we going to expand this in future? How many laptops or computers we are going to purchase in future? With this calculation, they will implement a network setup, and for this they should have an understanding on topology. I'm bringing here because without this basic fundamental thing, if you learn plenty of stuff, like if you say that, sir, I'm good in cyber security, I'm very good in cloud architecture, then we are failing here. Now in my team I have plenty of engineers who are very good in architect, but they are missing on the basic side. I would say, Avinash, can you switch on to the DNS? There is something wrong with DNS. He don't know what is DNS. That is where the problem is. And we have freshers hired, and he is basically from a reputed institution with information technology, cyber security, and forensic, and he is not aware of what IP address is. And tell me what he or she learned in all these many years, right? That is where we are missing. And what do you think that the questions will be in terms of for fresher? What will be the questions? I'll tell you the questions that was asked for the shortlisted candidates in our team. We had 3 members shortlisted finally. See, I'm just skipping from here to another place because this is going to help you in going forward for enhancing your career. Okay, so we had shortly. So for campus hiring, you know the process. You should clear the apps. You should clear all the online tests and whatever. Everything is done and dusted, and finally, the company is saying that the top these 10 guys are shortlisted. And once shortlisted, what will happen is this 10 resource or associates, I would say, they're aligned to the projects, and we have to take interview. If we are okay, only then they will be provided with the offer letter, or they will be entered into the project. What type of questions will be asked for them? If I look at the resume, even now I'm seeing that reading books. What books are you reading? We don't know. I asked the same question. Listening to music. What music? No answer. Playing cricket. No. In this lockdown, where are we playing cricket? At home? No. What the answer is? No answer. Are we looking at the resume? No. We are going to call our friend. Can you send your resume? Change the name, change the phone number, email ID. Of course, you will change the percentage of the marks, because absolutely there will be change, right? But what we are missing here is everything. Whatever we talk about fundamental, we are missing it. So coming back to the interview questions, I would say, sorry, we are skipping here because again I'm focusing on the career part over here. I asked a basic question to him: what is difference between IP address and MAC address? Now, what is your answer? Maybe, as I said, you guys are well versed on few topics, so you know very well. If I ask, just before we end this session, I was talking about the VPN, and definitely you will say IP address. IP address is IP address. Again, MAC address is MAC address. But do we have any concrete answer for that? Of course, maybe from one or two, but others, I don't know. What happened was he was not able to answer that question. And what do you think that what more I can ask for with that associate? And he already, he did plenty of things on his project. Apart from project, I'm pretty sure we don't have anything to add on to the resume. If I ask any question in the project, out of how the project works, right? So I know personally, like out of 4 members, we 4 used to present, and one start from 4 to 5 slides, 6 to 8 slides. That's how we do, but we don't have an understanding on the project. The project is typically whatever we learn year or mid of the year or whatever. What I'm talking is basic. At least have some basic. When you do a project on cloud, get some information on cloud. What are SAP, SPAS, what's IS? Again, you're going to say, give me the abbreviation for that, but you don't have answer for that, or you don't have any difference between that. Of course, I have it in the subsequent slide. I'll share it across. So yeah, this is the topology, guys. And finally, back to the fresher question. I was asking them this simple question: and do you think I would shortlist him? Definitely no, because I can't expert him as an expertise in his area. Definitely, because he's a fresher, right? And one thing I'm telling you today: focus on your communication, focus on your technical skill. Either if you are excellent in technical, definitely I'm telling you, you will be shortlisted, or you are excellent in communication, honestly, you are shortlisted. Only this thing is going to play a major role in your career. If you don't have both, and then please don't attend the interview. That's what I would say. Enhance your career by learning, and also try to read on the profile whatever you're updating once at least. You don't know today, when you attend the interview, probably you may know what I'm talking about. So finally, what happened was, we used to approach in a different way. I don't ask anything about his programming because I'm zero in programming. I know only addition of 2 numbers. And that too, what happened was, in when how we call it, as the external, right? External, he came and he asked me to do it in the runtime. I don't know how to do it in the programming itself, 45 plus 15, something like that. I don't know. So I'm zero on programming. But nowadays we need to learn PowerShell. You need to learn Python. That is 100%. You should learn. There's no other doubt. And nowadays the programming is not like you have to write from top to bottom. It is completely customized. When you click tab, automatically it will suggest you whatever you're looking, suggest you whatever you're looking for. That is how the programming is. So try to enhance your skills, and when you that is an opportunity for you. Don't give an attempt. That is an opportunity. Take that opportunity. Out of 10, how 2 is that? Because I'll tell you the question that was asked. It was very simple. We gave them a scenario. Out of 10 members, we shortlisted 2 and 8 failed to resolve that scenario we gave. And of course there are plenty of guys who said, sir, I am interested only in development. I don't need this support. I'm not interested in this IT infra at all. Okay, so if you're going to, you need development, right? Okay, can you write a code in Java? He's looking at me, he's staring at the paper and pen. He don't know what to write in Java. And of course you guys are pretty much aware the Fibonacci series. That is the toughest question they will ask in the interview. We didn't ask that such of questions at all. I asked what is RMI concept in Java. He was not able to do it, and he's looking for development job. So this is how we have, we didn't short that you are on the way, you are on the highways, and you are traveling on the bike, and now the sudden of all, the bike is not starting, and what you will do. And what happened here is, out of trying to their extent, to their limit, he said, I'll try Uber, I'll try Ola, I'll write with a pen and paper, I'll show this, that like answers were, he answered maybe 10 or 12 points he gave. What is that? That is our problem solving skill. That is how analytical thinking is about. That is how listening skills is about. This is how we used to hire. You mean it might be differ from project to project, or company to company, but this is something which is a basic thing for you guys. So try to think in different direction when you talk about IT infra. For that, you should have an understanding on the basic thing. That's what, again, I'm moving back to the basic, is because try to learn what the common things like hardwares that we use on daily basis. That's what I'm saying. And then you will try to understand what I'm talking about. I was just saying this cloud, right? I'll cloud, which we talk more on this one, right? If you look at here, we have IaaS, PaaS, as which we call it infrastructure as service, software as service. We have on-prem. What is this on-prem service? So if you look at here, you manage it, right? So you manage all these things. Typical data center in your college. So you have servers here, you have applications, data, runtime, middleware, operating system, network storage. So everything is at your Ramapuram campus, I would say. So this is on-prem. Now slowly we are going to infrastructure as a service. If you look at here, application, data, runtime, middleware, operating system is yours. So virtualization, server, storage, network is moved from on-prem. Like this particular tower is totally moved in infrastructure as service. Now you are going to reduce your server cost, your storage cost, your networking cost, and the virtualization cost as well. Moving on to the platform as a service. So you are going to you manage only application and data, but rest of all the things is managed by the cloud. If you look at this icon, this is typical, not typical, I mean, this is a cloud based one. And software as a service, you're not managing anything. Like I can't log in, but I can quickly show you something over here. So this is our typical concept for our vendor which we work for. They are basically a reinsurance, one of the second largest reinsurance company. So over here we used to enter our credentials, and then we used to see the desktop icons where we click and we enter into their own environment. So that is how it is working. And for that, if you look at here, what is there? You should know what is this Amazon Web Services about, what is Azure is about, what is iCloud is about, what is Google Cloud is about. And finally, platform as a service. This is mostly used by the developers. So they have platform. Only thing is, they need platform. They need certain softwares where they can use it. And finally, software as a service, which you are aware that we will see only a web-based interaction where entire system move on to the basic thing over here, which I was mentioning about this IP and MAC, right? So, and also I'll talk about this layers. If I ask someone, can you give me 7 layers? This is something question for everyone. And the hierarchy, sir, I know this is from top to bottom or bottom to top. You may have many abbreviations or phonetical things which you guys would have remember or your staff would have taught you. But what is IP address is about? Now I will say that IP version 4 versus IP version 6. If I ask this question, I don't know how many guys you are aware of this, and still I think you would have completed some network papers over here. So if I ask, can anyone tell me IP address? And this is something which we are very much aware of: 192.168.1.1. And if I ask you subnet, again you don't know what the subnet is. So this is where we are lacking. Okay, so quickly I'll just give a basic understanding on IP version 4. This is 32-bit. Okay, and IP version 6, it is 128-bit. So now how this 128-bit or 32-bit is calculated? So for that we have this, sorry, class A, B, and C, right? Sorry, C. And what is class A? We know that we used to know 0 to 126 and 127 is loopback, and followed by class B 128 to 191, and class C 192 to 223 if I remember correctly, or 222. So okay, so what is this? How you call it as? What is the purpose of this? I'm talking about IT infrastructure. I gave you a scenario about a browsing center. Now I'm going to give IP for one machine like 192.168.1.1. If I ask you, why did you give this IP address? Do you have an answer? 100% no. If I ask this question to network architecture, he will say that, boss, this is because we have network portion, we have host portion. Do you have this understanding? Yes, you would have read already. So for that, if I'll give you a simple example, NH, let's write on this, NH, sorry, NNHH, NNH. What is this? Here I'm talking about network and host portion. Same here as well. So this is how many bit I said? 32-bit, right? So over here we have 8-bit for network portion, and rest of the remaining bits are for host portion. So this is class A, right? For class A, we have host portions more and network portion is less. In class B, we have same for network and host portion. We have equally divided for networks and host portion. But in class C, networks are more and host portions are less. So most of the companies, they will prefer this particular IP address for class A because host portions are more. They have maybe 3,000 or 15,000 companies. They 15,000 or 16,000 plus assets they have, and different assets play different role, laptops or desktop. So for that they use this particular network IP address. So most of them are using class A IP address. Okay, so just for your understanding, always remember this class A is network. First thing is class A, network is less and host portions are more. And class B, network and host are both are same. For class C, we have different types of networks and host portions are less. Just do remember this one. And back to the MAC address, all the Wi-Fi devices, network devices, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or infra, whatever the network device, we have a physical MAC address, which is combination of 12 hexanumeric digit, I would say. So how I can remember this MAC and IP? Very simple. Always, they would have given you plenty of examples like your name and register number. Similarly, always take a vehicle as an example where we call the number plate as a IP address, and the chassis number or engine number is your MAC address, which we can't, destroy. Of course, we can change the number plate and the theft can happen. But in terms of MAC, the chassis number, we can't do anything at all unless we destroy it, right? So have this understanding. This is the best example for you, so that it will be easy for you to digest in upcoming lessons or sessions, whatever you have. Going back to this layers, sir, I know all these 7 layers, but I don't know what is it functioning. If I ask you, can you tell these 7 layers? I don't know how you guys are remembering. So there are plenty of ways, right? So similarly, you would have so many things in your thought, but if possible, please do remember this. This is very simple. Please do not take salespeople advice. This is very simple. Please do not take salespeople advice. We never used to take salespeople advice, or even we don't take advice from parents also. Okay, but let's have this one. Please do not take salespeople advice. And again, don't ask me, shall I pronounce from here to there to here? Nothing. You write it somewhere, and then make a order like application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical layer, or however you want to do it. You do it in your own way. And moving on to the the example, probably physical, it comes as physical, like hub switches, all these things, right? And data link, how the transmission is going to happen from one link to another link. And of course network and transport layer, UDP, TCP, and NetBIOS, all these things are definitely an interview point of questions. They will ask you which layer is going to play a major role in terms of networking. What hardware is there in networking? Can you give me an example? So that is going to play a major role here. So just for you, once again, guys, just please do not take salespeople advice and make it in this order. Like this is the order. That's what I have also learned, and make sure that you are following the same thing. And you will never forget that this particular line which I told. Probably you have something very fancy and that you can remember. For those who haven't learned about this, or who don't know what I'm talking about, at least remember this. Please do not take salespeople advice, and I think at least you can score 1 or 2 marks. This is the life cycle in our case. Once we receive a ticket or incident from the user, the contact one, they used to reproduce the issue, and if this is known issue, yes, they will fix it. We have standard operating system procedure, and then if it is a workplace issue, it comes to us, and we used to fix it, we used to document it, and then we resolve it. Or if not, we will ask them to attach the logs and follow the escalation process, and then escalate to us. This is something, a typical environment in our own infrastructure. That's what we follow it. Basically a routing of information from one place to another, how this has been routed, and what are the various things that is performed in between. This is just a life cycle understanding for you. And KPI, I was talking before, reaction time, resolution time, for when did we pick the incident, and what was the time that we resolved it. That is something with client side. Sorry, this is from client side. So we are at 98%, that is the target, and always we remember at 100%. The KPIs are very stringent, so we used to follow. So SLAs and reaction time, all these plays important role while handling the incident. Now other thing is, I would request you guys to pay attention on ITIL. If you go to Google or YouTube, just type ITIL, you will understand a complete framework which you can add to your resume, that I have an understanding on ITIL foundation. Whoever join in our project, or any of the project, any IT environment, they should have an understanding on what is ITIL, where they will cover IT transition, IT management, transformation, everything will be covered over there, so that you will get an understanding how the process is being carried out in typical IT environment. So now that I have 1 more minute, quickly I'll move on to Q&A. So looking at the picture, please don't ask me when the lockdown will be lifted, or when I'm going to get a COVID vaccine. For this, I'm pretty much sure the on the forum nobody have the answer. In fact, we are also working from home, and also we are working for home, and same thing for you also. I'm pretty much, I can understand that you guys want to exit from house, and at least you can do you can meet your friends, or to visit college, or whatever. You have thousands of questions. For that, I don't have answer, guys, please excuse. But apart from that, anything that you feel like, sir, I need this particular, I have this question, and can you give me answer for that? So yes, please, anyone, quickly, we will finish it off. And I'm telling you guys, there is no stupid question at all. The only stupid question is the question that never asked. That is what the stupid question, I would say, because we have an attitude of keeping questions ourselves, and we are not going to ask it. And when someone is raising this, and we will feel like, this was my question, man, someone else have asked. So yeah, anybody on the forum, please feel free.
Students,
So
you
sir,
can
I think,
ask any questions.
sorry sir, I thought students will answer only for attendance. That's what I was looking at. So anyone who is very technical or who is non-technical, anything, not I'm not going to give you any points, or I'm going to reduce any internals over here. I don't have any visibility
Sir,
on.
I have one question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, sir, is there a best future for web development?
Okay,
A full stack web development?
Okay, it is a full stack or off stack. Never mind. To answer your question, do for web development, is there any future? That is what your question is about. But for development, always there is a future. If you are developing something, only thing is you have to keep learning. Web development, yes, nowadays the complete infra is moved to cloud, and they are keenly looking for web development guys, especially for developer. So the opportunity is much more. Please concentrate on new environment like Python, as I said, and also plenty of development tools like I would say cloud based one, AWS, Azure. Focus on a few programming based stuff. That is definitely going to help you, and you have very good future. I'm telling you, you will not you know uh, I don't want to give you more fake information, but 100% I promise you, you have very good future on web development also. Yes, any
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have one more last doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, I know web development quite, sir.
Mhm.
Can I? So, which will be the best certification if I do, sir? Is it Azure or
See,
Microsoft?
for you, I would say don't go for certification, because with your experience, certification doesn't matter at all. Because if you have a clear, I told initially that you should have either good communication or very good in technical side. If you have both the things, you can definitely crack interviews. You don't have any doubt about. And even with 10 years or 15 years of experience, we don't have any certificate at all. And it is not must in India, especially. So for don't focus on certificate, focus on your development side and get more hands-on experience. But don't focus on certificate for now. After 3 or 4 years, you may do it, but I would suggest not for now.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Sir, so after completing full web development, can I go for cloud technologies?
You have to start cloud technology now itself, because almost all the companies have or migrating to cloud. You should go for cloud immediately. But you have an understanding on cloud, but do practicing the web development. And however the applications are already moved to cloud and it is going to be integrated in cloud, have some understanding on cloud. Yes, you have to
Okay,
start
sure,
now.
sir. Thank you, sir.
What is your name, by the way?
Sir, my name is Nishant, sir.
Very good, Nishant. At least on behalf of your folks, you raised a question, and thank you very much. At least I think one or two have paid attention on it. If rest just heard, I mean, if you paid attention or not, but still I thank you everyone whoever joined. And yeah, over to Kriba sir. You have
Yeah,
anything?
yes.
Or
Yes,
ma'am,
sir. Yes, sir.
you have anything?
Yeah, nothing, sir. It's time to conclude, sir. Vote of thanks. Very
Yes, sir.
good morning
Thank you.
to all. It gives me a impression to deliver the vote of thanks for this event to all dignitaries assembled here. I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Shankar Soundarajan, honor this function with his inspirational thoughts. And I would like to thanks the chairman, co-chairman, director, deputy director, dean engineering and technology, VP admin, VP academics, HOD IT, and my dear colleagues and participants for the meeting, making this session and a grand success. And once again, I thanked one and all present here. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
And
thank
guys,
you. Yeah, thank you,
thanks
sir.
for your time and attending. That do just be safe and take care of this. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks.
thank you, sir. Thank you. மேம் இப்போ ஸ்டாப் ரெக்கார்டிங் கொடுத்துட்டோமா இல்லை அதுவே ஸ்டாப் ஆகுமா? முடிஞ்சிச்சு. அது பஃபர் ஆகும் இல்லையா, அது வரையும் வெயிட் பண்ணணுமா என்னன்னு கேட்குறேன். எல்லாம் முடிஞ்சிச்சு, ஈவெண்ட்டே முடிஞ்சிச்சு. எஸ் கொடுத்துட்டோமா? ஓகே ஓகே, இப்போ சொல்லட்டுமா? தேங்க்யூ தேங்க்யூ தேங்க்யூ. சரி இல்லை மேம், அவசரம் இல்லை, அதை கூட எவனும் பண்ண மாட்டானுங்க இந்த டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டில். அதுக்காக தான். ம், ஓகே மேம், தேங்க்யூ தேங்க்யூ. ம் ம் ம். ஹலோ சார், தேங்க்யூ சார், தேங்க்யூ சார்.